Now, I want to say one thing before we get into this, guys, that is, to me, we're going to see the jail cell in a minute, but this is unconscionable. There was a sign there, warning of Epstein, like Suicide Watch. The sign even said, ordered by God. They were supposed to check in on him. They didn't. But regardless of the check-ins, regardless of all that, why did this guy have like 100 yards of orange blankets and materials and shit? Somebody who is like the tiniest risk of committing suicide does not get a whole bunch of extra blankets, right? There were enough blankets and cloth in there for this guy to make 100 nooses. You know what I mean? And I mean, dude, that is some horse shit. Okay? That is some horse shit, bro. Dude, he has enough orange cloth. He could have hung the whole goddamn cell block, bro. Seriously. He could have gotten into the textile business. This guy could have started a fucking Etsy store with the amount of clothing he had in that cell, bro. Like, I shit you not. Dude, look at that. Like, how? Look at that, dude. Like, bro, it looks, you know, the mascot for the hockey team, the Gritty, right? The mascot, the orange guy, it looks like somebody blew up the Gritty in there, dude. Dude, he had a sleep apnea machine with a fucking durable long cord. He could have literally used that cord and easily accomplished the job. But he chose to do the much more difficult shredding cloth and trying multiple. Yeah, that's believable. All right. It keeps getting weirder. Now, I want to bring this up here because obviously I can't leave these images on screen for a long time. But so looking at it, when I look at what I am seeing is that obviously there's like a line of blood. There's a deep, deep bruising, like cutting into the neck at some point. But this is like way low. It's like way down here. And it is like almost nothing on the sides. It is like a deep, deep, like, you know, really small angle, right? A really small, like, one of the things is the area across that is like deeply bruised and cut in implies that the power of the choking was focused on a very small frontal area of his neck, which feels like something that was being pulled from like wide. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're hanging with a rope, I don't know if it's going to leave a mark like that. And the fact that there's definitely blood and there's no blood on that cloth was like totally clean, right? And I mean, there's a lot of deep, significant bruising and there's blood. There's no blood on the cloth. There's his sleep apnea machine. I mean, that cord is pretty thin. I don't think that's the cord that was used. Doesn't look like that was the cord, but he could have tried that. That would have been more durable, certainly, probably, than the neck thing. What I found weird about this, guys, was just the idea that a 6 foot tall man is going to somehow kneel forward with a cloth noose around his neck from a 5 foot bunk and produce enough force to break the hyoid bone and all those cartilages, right? Like, could you asphyxiate yourself from a noose like that? Sure, right? Like maybe you get up on the bunk and you lean forward and it tightens up, and if you lay there long enough, maybe it produces enough asphyxiation to kill you. But to actually break those hyoid bones and that cartilage, that's a lot of force, guys. That is like, you know, falling from a 10-foot trapdoor or some shit. You're going to have some force like that. But yeah, he would have had to have jumped and had a significant like yank back, which is not like the image of this is him noosing himself to the upper bunk and then like leaning forward in some way. And I just don't know how you like, I don't know how you're gonna produce that amount of force. I mean, I'm looking at the image and the image is like, dude, that's a deep cut. That's a thin cut. And it's like, it also looks like his thing is like, I don't know, like uniform. It's like uniform razor thin where you know what it looks like, guys? I'll be honest, what it looks like is it looks like it was like a surgical tubing or something, you know, because it's really uniform and smooth, like some type of surgical tubing or thick hose or maybe some other type of cord. Certainly not this thing that is like rippled and twisted, you know. It did look like a power cord, like a thick computer power cord or some shit. And that I find intriguing, right? And they have this photo here, which is like, what did he do? He was 48 inches above the ground and he tied this thing through a hole 48 inches above the ground and like leaned forward off this bed. I don't know if I'm buying that, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm buying that he was able to produce enough force there to like shatter the hyoid bone and all that cartilage and that impact. I mean, look at this, dude. Look at that. Like, no, like you're saying he flopped off the top, dude, and it produced that uniform throat splitting force breaking the cartilage and that hyoid bone. Like, man, I'm just not fucking seeing it. My point is all of this is completely undisturbed. There's no way that somebody got up on this top bunk and like jumped off and hung themselves without any of this being disturbed. Okay, I feel like some of this shit would have toppled over simply from jerking on the bunk, right? I bet if you shake that bunk with your body, this shit would like fall over, right? At least this thing and this thing would probably have fallen over, you know? I mean, everything about this, every angle of this from top to bottom, just fucking stinks like dirty ass corruption. I mean, here's the deal, guys. You ready? So I want to be very clear. I buy the fact that this guy was like suicidal. I actually kind of do buy that. That emotionally, with him living in a bug place with a bunch of fucking common criminals, with no massages, no access to the outside world, knowing he's going away, knowing it finally all crashed. I buy the fact that this guy was depressed and probably wanted to end it all. I can totally buy the state of being, but what I'm not buying is him being able to pull it off like this in a way that did that amount of damage to his neck without disturbing anything on the top bunk, right? Like even with him being withdrawn and sad and broken and I want to end it, he puts a noose on there. He gets on there and throws himself on his knees to like hang himself. All of this shit would have not gotten knocked over, bro. You know what I'm saying? These bunks are like, if you shake on them, you're knocking that shit over. Okay? I'm just not buying that he completed the fucking deal in this way without disturbing this shit. And you know, his height and weight, he's about my size. You're going to break that hyoid bone. That's a lot of force. That means like thrashing yourself multiple times from your knees, from that lower bunk, trying to just get it right to actually snap that thing. Like everything up there would have been knocked over and moved and disheveled. And like, dude, all this shit looks like it, like this thing is like standing straight up. It just has a lot of like dirty foul play vibe to it. But again, you know, when you look at this evidence, some of this shit that's not adding up is like, look at the cloth, okay? You saw his neck, okay? We saw his neck. We saw that there was blood. We saw that there were areas where it was so deep that the skin was broken. But dude, there's not a drop. There's not a drop of blood on this thing. This thing is like clear, right? Not a speck of blood anywhere on this fucking cloth, this supposed noose, okay? It's not ripped. It's not cut. Doesn't have any blood. Now think about this too, guys. Think about something else, okay? Because they're estimating he died at like 4:30, which is 2 hours before he found him. Now think about if he did this and he was thrashing on his knees to try and create enough force to break that hyoid bone, okay? Think about if he did that, if he took 20 minutes on his knees of like heavy duty thrashing and it somehow didn't fucking knock that shit around on the top. He would have been sweating, right? He would have been sweating. He would have been probably profusely sweating. There would have been like a sweat stain on this. Like, right at the minimum, there would have been a sweat stain. There would be some skin, yes. There would have been a little bit of skin flaking or residue, but at minimum, there would have been sweat stains of like 20 minutes of him thrashing from his knees trying to break the hyoid bone. I mean, there would have been something, but this shit is like clean, bro. This is like clean. I mean, I don't believe he's alive. I do believe he's dead. I just don't believe he died the way they said he died. And dude, with the behavior of these guys, with the government shutdown and them avoiding the Epstein list and them like, you know, avoiding like swearing in 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗆𝗆, like, you know, more and more, I feel like this Epstein list is central to Donald Trump's survival, right? And dude, so the thing about this is there's this idea that like sometimes all the craziest shit that shouldn't have happened to create this one outcome, okay? That is very factual, okay? I have seen things, guys, I've experienced them in my own life where the most unlikely thing happened only because 5 or 6 of the craziest things happened before it. But what I don't like about this Epstein thing is how it's not like 5 crazy things happened to create the perfect outcome. It's like 20 crazy things happen to create the perfect outcome. And then that scenario happened 20 fucking times to create the most perfectly unbelievable perfect outcome. And then still to this day, all this crazy, perfectly unpredictable shit is happening like clockwork to prevent any of these ridiculous outcomes from even being seen. It's just a pattern of lightning strikes that just don't fucking happen. And that pattern of the perfect lightning strike happening every time at the perfect lightning strike time is fucking ridiculous. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's go.